Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm about to talk about some topics and some things that I normally don't talk about on my channel. I have a beauty channel and I actually really like to entertain you guys and have a good time here on this channel. So if you're looking for a good time or beauty makeup, then this is not one of my videos for you. Indefinitely check out my other content, and it's all geared towards that. As I'm not actually like a really political person, I'm not super big into politics at all. In my everyday life, I don't like engaging with people in conversations about politics, about heated issues at all. That's just not the way I am. I don't like it. But I feel like I am not just moved enough to say something, but I feel like it's my duty to say something, especially when I have not a large following, but a following nonetheless. So I'm just gonna let you guys know I have a little notepad here that I have notes I've written down for several different little topics that I want to go over with you guys. And the topics I'm going to be talking about are basically about racism, and how we can change that together. And I'm pretty sure it's the whole world, but I'm talking about the United States. That's where I live, and Kanye West said it best, I think, that racism's still alive. He said that back in the early 2000s, and it's still true today, sadly. I'm going to start with my own personal experiences. My wife works for law enforcement, and she's white. And my father is black. My mother is white and Native American. So I know when people see me, they see, my wife says she sees a white woman. I think especially when my hair is straightened, that can extremely be true. Mixed race children can come out any type of way. And so you don't really know what race somebody is, to tell the truth. And I really feel like racism in this day and age shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be even a factor. And I'm going to try really hard to not be emotional about this particular subject, because it's something that I feel extremely strongly shouldn't even be a factor in this day and age. It shouldn't, like, point blank, period. Like, it shouldn't be a factor in 2020. Like, for what reason? The stereotypes shouldn't even be a thing in this day and age. And that's my own personal opinion. So let's get into some things that I think are some really good points. So hold on. I think personally that racism is allowed because young people have the right idea, but we still have older people, right? These old motherfuckers with their old convoluted points of view, the evil racist things that they've been taught as a young child. Like our president, for instance, he's a sexist. He is probably a racist. He's definitely not a good person. He's very, very many things. And I'm sure he was taught those things were okay back in the day. He's old and he's running our whole country. And I think for our government, and I think for a lot of important offices that are held in like law enforcement offices, city council offices, things like that, those things need to be changed at state levels, at federal levels, before there can actually be change. The air that's outside in the United States, it's icky, it's gross. Right now, it's so bad, and I don't even like going outside. Like, my state is on their third and last phase for this COVID thing. Unwarranted, but that's a completely different story. But I don't want to leave my home even though I have the opportunity to, because white people know that I am not just white, and so they're being kind of cautious. And black people see me as white because that's what they see. They see blue eyes and light skin, and so they're like, are you cool? Are you like black power, or are you like one of those evil white people that we're trying to combat against? Outside, the environment has a bad energy, you know what I'm saying? So I think that personally, we have got to change who's in office for a lot of things to change as a whole. I think now more than ever is a really great time, and I think that black people shouldn't have to cause an uproar and destroy property and do outlandish things. It shouldn't take for somebody to die, or a series of people to die for, for actual change. And this happens like every 30 years almost, that black people get quite a few of people who of the black race die, and then they cause an uproar, and then that fuels the people who do hate them, the people who are in office, and they're like, see, look, that's what they're doing. So I don't want for the looting and the rioting that's going on across the country. It's definitely going on in Oklahoma, and I don't think that the looting and the rioting helps at all. I think that a lot of the time it worsens the fact. It's never gonna help. Work with organizations like the NAACP. Work with organizations like Black Lives Matter. They have different chapters all over the country, and people aren't doing that. They're just angry and pissed off, and trust me, I get it. I'm extremely emotional about it, and I'm upset about the entire situation that is going on. There was no need for George Floyd to die at all. And I really, really hope that at the end of the day, they get his murderer's charges right, and that he gets held accountable for his actions. And I really, really hope that the other officers that were there get held accountable for their actions. But we run into a problem where individual police agencies protect their own. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying it's fair, but I watched not only the full footage of his knee on George Floyd's neck, but also camera footage from above when the police officers first arrived. And it's disgusting. That man, he showed up to the scene definitely trying, and he intended to cause harm. And personally, I think that man should never be allowed in the light of day, let alone be an officer, because he definitely got out. He was the first person out of his cruiser and ran across street to go and yank George Floyd out of the thing. He was not fighting him. He was at all. That I digress. That wasn't what I was intending to say. There's a little bits of headway being made in my state, with police officers trying to get through to them, and it shouldn't have to be getting through to them. Like, I know that many police officers are good people. They're just trying to get a check, and that seemed like a good career path, okay? So let's let everybody go home to their family at the end of the day, because that's what we all want, right? To go home to our families at the end of the day. So I think I really only have one last thing that on Facebook I saw my friend Shanetta. She made a comment, or I think it was a story, like a Facebook story or something like that, and she was like, I hope y'all keep that same energy whenever it's time to vote. And she's 120% right. Everybody who's mad, who's pissed off, who wants justice for George Floyd, everybody who wants to have like some sort of conclusion to feel better, I think every single person who has ever loved a black person, who is a black person, everybody, the only way to do that is to have the right people in office. So if you don't know when they gonna vote again for mayor, for sheriff, for police chief, for all of those things, Google it. You're not retarded. You're not lazy. Do what you can to make this a better situation for not only your race, but for your children, whatever race they might grow up and be. Whatever, like, nobody should have to be scared for the world that our children are going to be growing up in. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what to feel for that's why I haven't been doing makeup stuff. I haven't been posting makeup stuff. I haven't even had on makeup. This is the first time in days that I personally have put makeup on, because I don't know what to do with my feelings, with my thinking. And I finally decided last night that I was going to make a video, and I wanted it to be positive, and I wanted it to be able to show people how to enact change. And the way to enact change is the exact same way that Dr. Martin Luther King went about it. Peace, trying to meet with leaders, trying to do things that are productive. Destroying somebody's restaurant, destroying fucking AutoZone is not productive. I get you're mad, but do better. If you want better, do better. If everybody can stop and think, what can I do to make this situation better, not make it worse? What am I going to do to end up in jail? I bet nobody who came to the protest decided like, oh, what am I going to do? I would love to end up in jail. And for all the people who are there to just fucking be there, then you need to go home. This is not the fucking club. Okay? Don't sit outside of a protest line. Just, yes, hi, I'm at the fucking riot. Live, yeah, I'm here protesting Black Lives Matter. Like, fucking sit your ass down. Like, sit your ass down. Nobody likes that. Don't do that. And, like, that's clout chasing. If you really, really want to help, you want to say something. My friend Sarah, she messaged me the other day and she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I feel really strongly about this. Her godson is a little boy of color. She just so happens to be white, but she's very upset by the George Floyd murder, and she's very upset by a lot of the things that she's seeing her friends post and stuff like that. And she just wants to know, like, what she's white, so she's like, what can I do? What should I do? And I was like, just support. If you want to get involved in your local Black Lives Matter chapter, do that. Be vocal about it. And I appreciate everybody being vocal about it, but we don't need a Silence Tuesday. Silence Tuesday isn't going to fucking help anything. It lets us know who's with us and who's against us, and that's it. So if you check people's Instagram feeds and they have that little black box, I think that's so fucking stupid. That's why nobody fucking saw that on my thing. One, because I'm black, and two, because what's a black box on Instagram gonna solve? Nothing. It solves nothing. If you want to stand with black people, be with them. Do what's right as an individual, as a human being. That's all you have to do. Teach your kids not to be little assholes. Racism is taught. I don't think people even understand that. You don't come out racist like you do gay. You just are taught racism and then nobody ever corrects you. If you see some fucked up racist shit happening, say something. If you see something, say something. And then if you don't say anything, then you're part of the fucking problem too. I think police officers should be held to a way higher standard than they are right now. They need to be vetted before they're hired, before they're even allowed to go to school to be a police officer. Before you're allowed in the academy, you need to not like just be able to pass a little baby psych test. Psych tests that have answers on the internet for you. All I know is that our nation needs a lot better being done for it than it is right now. And it starts at the top. I think that, not that we need a new police chief, not that the sheriff's department needs new sheriffs, not that, that they need new people, but like those people need to be vetted a lot harder and a lot more seriously. People need to not be so scared to ask the hard questions. Like, and I know that talks like that are uncomfortable, but if you really want that job, then you'll do it, just like our wonderful mayor in Oklahoma City. he really wants to be mayor again, okay? So he's out there with the people and he's talking to them because he wants to get reelected again. I don't think anybody realizes that. That's a photo op opportunity. And most politicians are opportunists. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Okay. He realized, like, oh, all these people, they might be voting in fall. They might forget about it. You know what I'm saying? But just in case if they don't, I'm going to be there. Talking about Black Lives Matter and let me hold this sign and let me march with you if you guys are going to march. Okay? Look into the people who are even up to be voted on. Make your decisions an educated decision. You think about it. Like, all of these people were like, oh, we don't have a good candidate, I'm not even voting. And then Trump was our president. And we got to deal with that for 4 years. We have some really big problems, and Americans are going to have to make some really big changes and a lot of really big choices. And I didn't want this to go into like a political kind of way, because this is about racism and this is about Black Lives Matter. And really quickly, like, racism starts at home. So change your hearts. Everybody's heart is just so fucking already beaten down by life circumstance, by personal problems, and then you have to go out into the world and deal with other people being racist to you. That shouldn't be a thing. It's ridiculous that it isn't an issue. Still, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Somebody that's not you. Culturally, you probably can't do that. But if you had a whole different world of people that treated you differently just based off the way that you look, then that would be terrible. And I'm pretty sure not a lot of white people can, like, even empathize with that. You can't, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that any white person can even start to empathize with a society treating them poorly based off of the color of their skin, having preconceived notions, stigmas in their head of, oh, this person is this way, they gotta be this way because of the color of their skin. Or they probably, like, don't have money, or they're dirty, they live in a bad neighborhood, this, that, and the other. Those things are grossly untrue, and they should be stopped. And I'm not even going to say that I haven't been guilty of such behaviors. I'm sure that there are people of all races that have at some point in time said a racial slur, stereotype somebody, things along that nature. And if you just change those little things that you can control, then I think it's going to make have a ripple effect and make the world a better place. Not just the United States, not just your town, your city, your state. Changing stuff at home and in your heart, and don't be a fucking asshole. Just don't be an asshole. Just let people go on about their lives. There's no need to ever comment on, like, oh, that girl's so dark. Like, just let her live her life, you know? And just don't be racist. It's not hard, okay? And I think that's where I'm gonna end this video. And I'm sorry that I rambled for so long about political things when that's not what I intended for this video to be about. But I think that that's how our country can see a lot of change. I think the people who lead it are some very big covert racists and bigots and among other things, okay? So I think that if we want to change, you have to start from the top. And I think that a lot of people don't understand. It's just that simple. Just show that you're with us. You know, like show effort like Mayor Holt did, even though I think he has a alternative agenda, that show unity about it. Show a thing of, no, I'm not going to stand for that. It's just that simple for police chiefs to do. It's just that simple for head of states and stuff like that to do. It's really that simple. And I would respect it a lot more coming from a police agency. Stop protecting each other when you see bad things happening. It's really just that simple. So that's where I'm going to end this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and it brought you a little bit of insight, especially if you aren't Black. And I hope everybody has a good day. Don't be racist.